Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on PTV Africa, an online TV channel, the voice to the voiceless, with Anatol Arnitwerutachema, a man of peace and revolution, who believes in himself that a peasant must rise to the top, and a peasant, the son and the daughter of a peasant, will one time, a point of time, discuss it down with the sons of the nobles and discuss important issues of national importance. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you once again to yet another edition about Kenya's politics and what is happening to our neighbor country, Kenya. Before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to declare this without any fear of contradiction, that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, together with his son, General Kainerugaba Muhoozi, have yet won another election in our neighboring country, Kenya. Because all we see at play now are the same games that His Excellency the President and his son Yoweri Kaguta Museveni actually do in the name of democracy in Uganda, and end up manipulating the voice of the people. And remember, I told you that PTV Africa is the voice of the voiceless. You may agree with me or not, but Musevenism and Museveni is at work in Kenya. Considering the fact that the experience of William Ruto that he has in the governance of countries is very limited as compared, is very low as compared to what is expected. Now that he wins a controversial election, you must now know that what Museveni does is always declare me and see what next. And that is exactly what's happened to Kenya. Declare Ruto as a winner with a small margin, and we wait for what will happen with the team from Raila Odinga. I repeat this. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and his son General Kainerugaba Muhoozi have yet won another election in Kenya because of what is at play. I'm saying that whatever is in Kenya that you see, when you are a critical thinker, you see Musevenism. You see a difference in what is happening. You see Musevenism in the democracy of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, it should be noted that William Samoei Ruto, who is now the president-elect because he has been declared, left his country and came to the Republic of Uganda and converted some parts of the Republic of Uganda looking for votes, when His Excellency President Museveni was busy arresting and capturing his opponents and maybe torturing some of them, whatever. The army was at work doing lots of nasty things. What does that imply? It means that there is a close relationship between Samoei William Ruto and His Excellency the President of Uganda. And of course, we cannot neglect his son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Ladies and gentlemen, that wouldn't be my concern. My concern would be that if William Ruto is a Democrat like he says in his speech, then he wouldn't have come to support His Excellency President Kaguta Museveni after knowing, because he cannot pretend not to know what happens in Uganda. So I, for one, I must be very clear on this show that I have been against William Ruto, and I am still against him. I am not supporting him in any case. I'm an analyst, much as I'm on a TV, but I'm telling you, because of those factors that I'm telling you about, they are anti-democracy, but they come in the shoes of democracy to show that they are democratic and manipulate whatever system that is there for the opponent to rise up. Ladies and gentlemen, so if I say Museveni yet wins another election, I will not be judged wrong to tell you that it is true Museveni wins an election in Kenya because Ruto and Museveni are one. That we must agree. Are one. You saw Ruto in Busia, you saw Ruto in so many parts of Uganda conversing votes for this gentleman, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, amidst the irregularities that took place in our democratic processes in Uganda. So that means William Ruto gave a blessing to whatever is happening to Uganda. And me as a Democrat, as a historian, and me as a political analyst, I will not come out and say that whatever problems we have in Uganda, Ruto has a contribution, because he duly and openly participated in the process of electing Rigare, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who now claims to be having the will of the people, and I'm sure he doesn't have it when you look at what he is trying to do. His President Museveni, I'm not so much into him, but when you are a president and you reach at a time when you have what to say, you broke all the media, broke the radio, TV, media programs, all media programs for only you. Then you understand that if you left it at liberty of the media to choose what to show, they may not even show you on a TV, no matter of you being a president of the Republic of Uganda. That automatically shows that even President Museveni does not know that he was duly elected by the people and he has the will of the people. When it comes to democracy, I will define them very much. Remember now, I am still arguing that Museveni and Muhoozi Kainerugaba win yet another election in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, it should be noted that the relationship between Kenya and Uganda should not be taken for granted. His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, the current President of the Republic of Kenya, himself came in a private jet, I don't know if it is a state jet, and witnessed the swearing-in ceremony of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. And that means that Uhuru Kenyatta agreed with the democracy in Uganda. So, in my analysis, we shall be looking at this. Much as we see that Kenya is more developed in democracy than others, than us in Uganda. But what image do the leaders of Kenya portray? Do they wish other countries also to develop to a certain level? Because the reason as to why I'm saying this is that Kenya is a little bit okay. We can anticipate that maybe that Raila Odinga, the fact that he is not agreeing with what is coming from an election or from what is being declared, there is a hope that the judiciary can come out and judge and give a credible judgment upon all these issues that are happening in Kenya, which is not the case in Uganda. But now, should we now call Uhuru Kenyatta an enemy of democracy in Uganda? Should we call William Ruto an enemy of democracy in Uganda? But I'm telling you that because of intellectual inadequacies, because of little experience in governance of countries, then Museveni, I cannot be judged wrong to say that Museveni has won yet another election in the Republic of Kenya. Because believe me or not, Ruto must make sure that when he gets to power, because he has to consolidate power, must make sure that he works with Museveni to make sure that the region, what they want in the region is achieved. And remember, these leaders, what they always want is not the stability of the region, but the stability of these people and these individuals into their offices, into the whatever, to make a very big wall and a big wall fence that no one should interfere with their eating, with the way of doing things. And they always bring democracy into our face to claim that they are democratic when they are not. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Focus Uganda Focus, but now I try to speak English simply because these issues that I'm analyzing are between countries, Kenya and Uganda, and I would love that my comrades from Kenya also pick a sense from what I am trying to speak. Before I speak a lot, ladies and gentlemen, let me first give you a simple highlight of what is happening in Kenya. Kenya went through polls democratically, and Kenya spoke, and I think they chose their right leader. But you as a person and me as a person, we saw the process very smoothly running. Now, where is the problem? The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that the democracy that we are having in our country, or in Africa, it should be noted that it is not an African system of governance. This is a system of rule that most of us are trying to learn. And before I end this show, I will make sure that I give you simple definitions of democracy, that it becomes a highlight, it becomes a trigger in your mind to understand that what we are in is not even understood by our leaders. So, the election went on very well, and the Constitution guarantees that within 7 days, that is a week, a winner must be declared. Now, I don't want to go into the details, but it should be noted that as per now, William Samoei Ruto is a declared president-elect of the Republic of Uganda, of the Republic of Kenya, amidst disgruntlement amidst misbeliefs, amidst I mean, there is a lot of things that are happening in the Republic of Uganda. But I can tell you, if Museveni is to play at work, I am assuring you that Ruto will be the president of the Republic of Uganda, of Kenya. Now, he is already declared. What next? What next now is to be rested in the hands of other institutions to play their role. Mr. Chebukati, the chairperson Electoral Commission of Kenya, came out and declared a winner, and that is constitutional right and duty. But how did he conduct such a declaration? Because it must be done in line with the laws that govern the Republic of Kenya. To me, as an Atura, I feel that he did not follow the right procedures. And we have evidence upon that. Ladies and gentlemen, the evidence that we have that this election and this declaration is a nullity, number one is, I will take you to one of the greatest ladies now that I believe was strong and strong enough, if he is genuine to himself, to herself, if he doesn't want to play the games of this justice in our country. Who said, I don't agree with what has come from the petition, and now we no longer hear about what she was talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Julian Cherera, the vice chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Kenya. Juliana Cherera came out and said that for us, we don't agree with what is being declared by our chairman, Chebukati. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another gentleman called Francis Muthenge Wanderi. Francis Muthenge Wanderi is one of the people who also came out, one of the commissioners of the Republic of Kenya, of the Electoral Commission of Kenya, who came out and said, we are not agreeing with what you're going to declare, and so we are not party to that. We have Irene Cherop Masiti, as also one of the commissioners, who came openly together with Juliana Cherere and said at Serena Hotel that what our boss is declaring is not the voice of Kenya. Then we have Justice Obonyo Nyangaya, who is also among the four, who said, no, we need the voice of Kenya to be heard rightly, not a manipulative voice of Kenya. So it remains now in balance between you and I to believe who is who. Who can we believe now? We cannot believe the chairperson, Chebukati, and we may not also rightly or directly believe these four commissioners of what they are saying. But now, this is what is at play in Kenya. This is what is at play in Kenya. It should also be noted that William Samoei Ruto only required 50 plus 1%. And now he managed to get 50.49% if what Chebukati declared it may be remains the way it is. But as we talk, His Excellency, also the Honorable Raila Odinga came out and refuted the results, and so many other candidates who were standing together with him in the race say that we are not accepting that this is the right voice spoken by the Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, it should be noted that in 2017, a great man called David Maraga, the Chief Justice of Kenya by then, came out and nullified an election. So we anticipate that this election, if the evidence is brought clearly, that Kenya Chief Justice or the judiciary in Kenya can come out and nullify this election. So the simple judge now, these matters, we are now left not only to the public court, but they are left now to the judiciary to come out and act independently and make sure that the right voice of Kenya is heard and the justice prevails in the country of the Republic of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, so the nullification of an election is not is not something that is hard for Kenyans, because in 2017, I'm highlighting it very clearly that the justice called David Maraga came out and nullified the election, and they went for a rerun. And so among the things that we expect in Kenya, a rerun is very possible. A rerun is very possible. It should be understood that the judiciary in Kenya now is being led by a lady. And most of the time we think that ladies are normally just and always want to reveal them. However, it should also be noted that they are easily manipulated. But who should manipulate who and who doesn't? But all in all, democracy guarantees us and grants us that whoever is disgruntled with what has or the outcomes of an election should seek guidance, should seek rescue, should seek whatever means, seek justice from the Supreme Court of the land. And in this case, the Supreme Court of the land in Kenya is being led by Justice Martha Kalambu Kome. Justice Martha Kalambu Kome, now whatever is happening in Kenya, you must get organized already for a petition within 7 days, according to what I have heard from Honorable Laila Odinga. All these that I'm highlighting should make us develop a sense of understanding, is democracy helping us? First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, I need to highlight that democracy is a foreign system of governance that was brought to Africa, one, to disorganize us. I have one of the great doctor and one of my mentors who doesn't know me clearly is called Dr. Kihura Nkuba Rwachumuka. Kihura Nkuba Rwachumuka is the owner of Great African Radio in Uganda, in the central region, the central parts of Uganda. He was always on the radio talking about democracy. And I remember one of his words, he spoke them in Runyangola and said, democracy nkuba nekajiteri. Democracy nkuba nekajiteri. Democracy nkuba nekajiteri. What does this one mean? It literally means that democracy should be struck by thunder, because Kihura Nkuba does not believe in democracy, most especially in Africa, where the institutions of the purported to be independent institutions in Africa are clumsy and depending on only one person, like it is the case in Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, if you put Kihura Nkuba, or the Kihura Nkuba as what he said, democracy nkuba nekajiteri, or democracy should be struck by thunder, I also I pin him also to this circumstance, because the Kihura Nkuba I'm talking about was teaching a lot of good things about Africa, but we wonder where he disappeared to. However, the people in Ankora and elsewhere and in Uganda, like they always have a ngombo, or that yaria, he ate. I am still being batabed if whoever knows Mbwateka Magafa, whoever knows Mbwateka Magafa, Mbwateka Magafa is an MP in the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, and now he represents an area called Bushenyi. Now, that is the son to Kihura Nkuba that I'm talking about. The democracy that Kihura Nkuba was talking about and saying that he said that the democracy Nkuba nekajiteri, that should be struck by thunder. But now, his son is participating in the democracy that he was cursing. And the major challenge that we have, the strong people that we learn about, that we learn from, end up misleading us and end up becoming a problem to us. So whoever knows Kihura Nkuba and whoever knows Mbwateka Magafa, please tag him this video, because we want leaders who are consistent, and we want those people to come and rescue our country. We want you people not to come and teach us things and then after run away from it. Because now I find democracy in Africa as very expensive for Africans, and the leaders are not minding about it. This is not to say that I'm against democracy, but if democracy is not working well for Africans, then we should better look for another option or another form of leadership that we need to take up. Ladies and gentlemen, now the issues of Kenya, we are waiting for Justice Martha Kalambu Kome, because I am sure a petition is going to be filed within 7 days to the Chief Justice or to the Supreme Court, which is the main court of the land. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to discuss the issues of Kenya, as a person, I remind you that Museveni wins yet another election in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, Museveni leads another election in Kenya, and I suspect that everything that is at play in Uganda after election is going to happen in Kenya. However, it should also be noted that the Kenyans are more empowered than Ugandans. Kenyans are more empowered than Ugandans, and they have already started writing. They are already standing on the occasion to see that their voices is not manipulated as it happens in our country, Uganda. As I conclude this show, ladies and gentlemen, am I advocating for democracy? Yes, I am an advocate of democracy, but I should remind you that this democracy is not an African made, and it is an imported system of rule that was got from the Europeans, and yet the Europeans do not practice it the way we practice it. And every day our leaders claim to be learning. Our democracy is not yet. But they're like my president, he has been in the country for 36 years. When will he develop the democracy that he is claiming, that our economy, our country is not yet at the right democracies that we want? You understand? Let's stop lamenting, let's stop whatever. We should now come to occasion and understand that we are the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I need to define for you what democracy is. Democracy is a system of rule by the poor and the disadvantaged. So it is a system of rule by the poor. They wanted that the voice of the poor and the disadvantaged also to come through a popular vote. That once the services do not reach the poor and the disadvantaged, then you who is coming to seek mandate from them, they should challenge you and say, no, you are the right leader, you are not the right leader to serve our interest. But ladies and gentlemen, is it what is at play in our African democracies? Do the voices of the voiceless come out during an election and it is hard? To me, it is not. The voices of the people, the ordinary person, is not always heard in Africa's democracy. If you disagree with me, I have no option. It is my opinion now. Another definition of democracy is the filling of public offices through a competitive struggle for a popular vote. This happens in our African democracies, and for organizing elections, these people are good at organizing elections even after a specified period of time. But sometimes in Africa, we already know who is going to win. Sometimes in Africa, not the case in Kenya, we already know who is going to win. So I don't know if it is the right way of filling public offices through a competitive struggle for a popular vote. And yet a popular vote sometimes is determined by those in power, or a popular vote is determined by those who have the gun, and so they manipulate all the systems and make sure they get that popular vote. And in so doing, they are stampeding on the voices, the right voices of the people, which must be heard in the right democracy. Another democracy, that the definition of one that is very common to you guys, it is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. This is a democracy. This is a definition that was brought in by Abraham Lincoln, who was the first president of the United States of America. The government of the people, for the people, and by the people. That means that in a democracy, the power belongs to the people, and the people must determine how that power is exercised. Ladies and gentlemen, this definition, I disagree with it 100% when it comes to Africa, because the voices of people, it is not always the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. People put democracy in their face and act as democratic when what they're doing is actually not democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, what is my final definition? The final definition, according to Anatole, I say that the democracy is the dictatorship of the majority, where the minority interests are presumed to be taken consideration. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not against democracy, but I am saying that if we are all to follow the right procedure of democracy, democracy would be a great system of governance in all our institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, I will need to remind you that you and I have a stake in African countries. We need to see what works for us. And so I recommend that you and I, who are on this channel, should now start thinking about how we can have a moderate and a working definition of democracy for African countries. I now call upon the Dr. Kihura Nkuba Rwachumuka. The issues that you are raising were pertinent and very good. Would you please come back and be a rescue to this? I call upon Patrice Lumumba, Pierre Lumumba, one of my favorite professors in Kenya. I don't know what you will say this time, because you have been everywhere in Africa teaching about this democracy, and now it is your turn to be challenged in your country. Remember one day that we were appointed to the committee of, to lead the anti-corruption issues in Kenya. You understand what happened to you. But if democracy is not a really good practice in Africa, and if we are not running the major according to the basic principles of democracy, why are we wasting state resources and the resources of the ordinary citizens of the countries in Africa? Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep watch in what is happening in Kenya. Now I've told you, all is rested in the hands of Martha Kalambo Kome, because I'm sure She hasn't received the petition, but he has to receive the petition because at least 3 contestants in this race have not accepted the results that has been declared by the chairperson Electoral Commission Chebukati of Kenya. What is my request? My request to you, lovers of African countries and lovers of the good governance and democracy in Africa, we should raise and stand up to the occasion to make sure that the leaders we put in place, but of course, like in Uganda, we don't put leaders put themselves there. And we should ask our leaders pertinently that they should look at how to stabilize institutions in our countries. That's the only way to have a right democracy. I conclude by saying democracy is possible in Africa if the players do not play it dirty. If the players choose that we do democracy and hear the voice of the voiceless and the voice of the people coming out to the occasion to see the right leaders they wish to lead them, then democracy will work. But if it remains the case that it happens in most African countries, the case in point, the Cameroon with their king, Paul Biya, king is not a president, he's a king. How can you lead a country for 40 years? If we still have the likes of Paul Biya from Cameroon, if we still have the likes of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda, if we still have the likes of the late Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe, if we still have the issues, the late Muammar Gaddafi, Libya President, when we shall not have democracy in Africa. Because democracy guarantees and requires that any leader must not be selfish. A leader must come to get the will of the people, and after getting the will of the people, and he puts into consideration, puts into action the will of the people, what people need in that particular society, which is contrary to Uganda, which is contrary to Kenya, which is contrary to most parts, to most countries in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all the best. You can go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, PTV Africa, and watch. I encourage you not also to skip the advert, because when you don't skip the advert, you're supporting this noble cause of PTV Africa, an online TV channel. Anatura Nito Ritachemwa, wish you all the best.